real reason why Meghan Markle made that totally bizarre Instagram post overnight.
Harry would like to have a presence in the UK, that he was coming back to the UK to promote the Invictus Games.
Meghan Markle's royal dream is all but over as Harry braces himself for a similar humiliating fate to his disgraced uncle Andrew.
Time magazine had just dropped their big interview with Harry, and she wasn't part of it.
100 of the most influential figures shaping the global sports landscape. And there he is, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, on the list.
A man who has never laced up a boot for a professional side, never stood on a touchline directing a team, never once lifted a trophy or crossed a finish line in competitive sport. Yet this week, his name appeared on one of the most prestigious sports lists in the world, placed right beside LeBron James. Close to 1,000 people responded with the same 4 words. Did he pay for it?
A leader in sport. We'll just pause for a minute here, insiders. I have long said that the establishment had to give Prince Harry some purpose. They had to create something so he could do something. Otherwise, he sat pressing all the little strawberries together for Meghan, getting a white label off, whacking it on a jam pot, and that's it.
On the 9th of June, Time magazine launched what it described as the very first Time 100 sports list. 100 of the most powerful and consequential names in world sport. LeBron James made the cut. So did Lionel Messi, Stephen Curry, Caitlin Clark, and Dana White, the man who inherited a near-bankrupt outfit known as the UFC and transformed it.
He is not listed as an athlete, though. He has never won anything in his life. He is listed, wait for it, in the leaders category. Time magazine is one of the most recognisable media brands in the world. They've just launched a brand new list. This never before list never ever existed, and on its very first outing, Prince Harry is on it, alongside Dana White, the man who built the UFC from nothing into a global sporting empire, and Stephen Curry, one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
The internet wasted no time. A single comment asking why Harry had been handed a sports accolade and whether he had simply purchased it gathered nearly 957 likes. That is not the view of a vocal minority. That is the single most endorsed reaction to this entire story. A further 517 people threw their weight behind a second comment that put it plainly. Do the people running Time magazine actually understand that this man is neither an athlete nor a coach of any description?
Yeah, but I mean, you saw Dan. He's been listed as a sports personality in Time magazine, you know?
We're going to come to that. Trust me, we're going to come to that because it is a total cringe.
Before we get into the money, the magazine, and the figure pulling the strings, there is one person whose story you need to hear first. Because what happened to him is the unvarnished truth lurking beneath every accolade Harry has ever been handed. His name is Scott Snow. A retired Canadian Navy diver, a man who gave his years to serving his country, endured 12 military surgeries, and spent a long time fighting his way through PTSD and depression. In 2023, Invictus held him up as the face of Team Canada at the Düsseldorf Games. His image filled their promotional materials. His personal story was used as the centerpiece to sell the entire event to a global audience. He spoke openly about his 2 daughters, his operations, his darkest moments, and the hope that kept him going.
Today, I'm talking to Scott Snow, a 43-year-old retired Canadian Navy diver, an Invictus competitor, and the poster boy for Team Canada in Dusseldorf. He was featured in the official promotional video for the games. He talked about his 2 daughters, his battle with PTSD and depression, and the 12 surgeries he had already undergone for his service-related injuries before he ever set foot in Germany. He went to Dusseldorf to compete in archery, rowing, and wheelchair rugby.
He is currently pursuing a $2.4 million lawsuit against the government, the organization that plastered his face across their posters and paraded his story around the world. They stopped answering his calls. His own words. And hold on to these, because they deserve to be heard. He said he feels as though he has been abandoned not once, but twice. That is the legacy. That is the operation. That is what Prince Harry just collected a major international award for leading.
Scandal involving Prince Harry and his last remaining genuine charity project, the Invictus Games. But is it really a charity project at all? Is it just being used as a money-making scheme? And is Invictus about to join the list of charities, including African Parks and Centre Bali, that actually will do far, far better with no dodgy involvement from the disgraceful Duke? This is certainly something which is being ignored by the mainstream media. However, there is movement saying there is something not sitting right with this charity. Charities that have something to hide should not be trusted, especially with so much NGO fraud being exposed in the last few years. And they are calling on Boeing and American Airlines to think twice before donating. When they said Invictus is a scam, the veterans are being used for PR, privately funded faux trips with lavish accommodations and Meghan's merchandising schemes. That's not how charities work.
If you have spent the last several years watching all of this play out from your living room with a nagging sense that something was fundamentally not right, but without quite being able to put your finger on what, your instinct was sound. You were not imagining it. You were simply never given the facts needed to confirm it. You were fed a carefully constructed narrative that Harry was a humanitarian, a tireless defender of veterans, a mental health champion quietly transforming lives behind the scenes. Here is the reality. A veteran whose face was used to front an entire global event, left to charge his spinal treatment to a credit card. A charity Harry himself founded, now taking legal action against him for bullying and harassment. A board he occupies a seat on, publicly acknowledging that its own rangers carried out rape and torture. And an award handed to him by a magazine whose proprietor happens to bankroll his lifestyle. You were never wrong. You were just deliberately kept in the dark. Until now.